Experts say people experiencing a mental health crisis are more likely to have a run-in with police than to get medical help. Each year, more than 2 million people with mental illnesses are booked into the nation's jails.
The National Alliance on Mental Illness says nearly 30% of incarcerated women have a serious condition, and a vast majority are not violent criminals.
WMUR's Mike Cherry visited the state's women's prison to learn what's being done there to help overcome that obstacle.
At the women's prison in Concord, treating substance abuse disorders and mental health issues go hand in hand. The state-of-the-art building replaced a rundown facility in Goffstown in 2018. And in its wellness center, psychiatric and substance abuse counselors offer a wide array of health care services.
Our goal is to send people out healthier so that they can reintegrate into society and not come back.
For a prison holding about 180 women, it's no small task.
Approximately 90% of our women are receiving behavioral health services here.
Including Nicole Belonga, who has spent more than a decade behind bars and says her anxiety required heavy medication for nearly 2 years.
I don't need medication anymore.
Hours of individual therapy has given her the tools to help herself in moments of crisis.
Different ways to get out of my head, different ways to deal with if I'm having a rough day, to differentiate between facts and feelings, because your feelings aren't facts.
Training programs in areas like graphic design, screen printing, and Braille help inmates build confidence and skills that could translate back in society. Belonga says she now knows when to ask for help and has built a support system at home, even repairing a relationship with her dad before he died in 2013.
We talked about a lot of things and we worked through a lot of things. So when I lost him, I was in a much different place with him. And I think that being in a good place with my dad helped me want to work on being in a good place with other people in my life.
Today, Belonga is considered a model inmate, serving as a mentor and passing along the methods that she's learned to her peers. But officials caution that rehabilitation does not guarantee an individual won't return to incarceration.
So just as people who have type 2 diabetics sometimes don't take their meds or eat the wrong thing, we shouldn't expect any differently of other people with other diagnosed illnesses. But it's really how we respond to that and help people overcome those obstacles is going to make a difference here in New Hampshire.
For Project Community, Mike Cherry, WMUR News 9.
Mental health issues and the addiction crisis have long been linked. WMUR Sean McDonald sat down with state and local law enforcement to learn more about those twin challenges.
I am joined by Attorney General Gordon MacDonald and Manchester Police Chief Carlo Capano to talk about this important topic. First of all, gentlemen, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Is it often that an officer will respond to a scene, to an incident where they find that drugs or mental health are an issue here, or maybe a combination of the two?
Yeah, it's a combination of three, believe it or not, and it's unfortunate, but it is. It's mental health, it's the drug epidemic, and it's homelessness. And it's just becoming a perfect storm and becoming a difficult situation to continue handling.
And Attorney General MacDonald, are you finding the same theme at the state level as well?
Yeah, there is absolutely no question that the issue of undiagnosed and untreated mental health is a profound problem facing our state. And of all the functions we perform in our office, this issue touches virtually every one of them.
This can be stressful and impact mental health of police officers doing this work.
The stress is sometimes can become overwhelming for officers, and we deal with that with peer-to-peer counseling within our officers at the police station. They're trained. We have a team that's trained. It's about 25 officers that deal with those type of situations peer-to-peer internally.
We need to be able to extend that to our smaller police departments and make sure that they have the help they need.
Talk a little bit about how do you make sure that someone with a mental health issue doesn't wind up getting treated in jail or wind up in jail as opposed to the proper treatment?
Right. What we've created is the Mobile Crisis Response Team. So that team is a police officer, a clinician, and a recovery coach. And what they do is they're able to go out, they do 5-hour shifts Monday through Friday, and then on Saturday and Sundays they're 4-hour shifts. That team goes out and they actually listen to the police radio, and they're able to respond to some of these calls in real time. Things have changed drastically over the years. When I first came on the job, if you went to a call and somebody was suffering some type of a mental health crisis, quite often you would have to put them in handcuffs transport them to the police department, and then you would call mental health to come down and evaluate the person. They would make that evaluation, see if they're fit to leave on their own. If not, then they would get shipped to a hospital.
Yeah, and Attorney General McDonald, what do you say when someone asks you, how do we fix this problem? What can be done?
Part of it is building up the infrastructure and the workforce that we need to deal with undiagnosed and untreated mental health. And part of it, frankly, is reducing the stigma. People can go out and get treated, and they can live really, really great, productive lives.
Big picture, this all seems very overwhelming. Is there hope out there? Are these methods working? Are you finding success?
From our point of view, without a doubt. I mean, when we're dealing with the public and answering calls, the programs that we have in place, they are working. The most important thing is to get that message out there that it's okay if you are suffering from a crisis, and to reach out and get the help that you do need. And most importantly is we're having these conversations here today that are letting the public know that we are aware of it and we are working on it on our end to make sure we can give you the best response that we possibly can.
All right, Chief Capano from Manchester Police Department, Attorney General Gordon McDonald, thank you very much. A very important topic.
Thank you.
All too often, the hopelessness that comes from depression, anxiety, or other conditions can leave people thinking taking their own life is the only way out.
Just ahead in our Project Community special, we meet a man who survived suicide and is now using his darkest days to inspire others to make the decision to live.
Plus, his family was almost torn apart by mental illness. The 5 signs former Supreme Court Justice John Broderick wants everyone to know to take on a problem he says can no longer be ignored.
First, coping with mental illness, in their own words.
I don't know what went through my mind at the age of 8, but I tried to kill myself at that age. I just remember being extremely angry and bitter, and that I knew I wanted to die. At the age of 14, I tried to die by suicide again. I did not die, obviously, but as I got through my teen years, things got a little bit worse, and at the age of 18, once again I tried to kill myself and was found by a police officer. About 6 years ago, I discovered a treatment called transcranial magnetic stimulation. Right around session 22, I woke up in the morning and I didn't have any suicidal thoughts at all. None. Complete remission. I am living proof that treatment works and that there is hope.